Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Constance the Reader, and today is October, so it's time to talk about everything I want to read in the month of October. So I have another ambitious TBR. We will not be going into detail about the fact that I did not meet all the expectations that I set for myself last month, but I will not be pulling cards this month because I want to focus on just reading scary things. Obviously, I'm going to pick and choose other things as I go because I'm a mood reader, but I really want to focus heavily on listening to and reading books that are scary for this month. So without further ado, let's talk about everything that I definitely plan on reading in October. So first up, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that I really like this author. I recommend them. I think I did a video last year about spooky books I recommend by authors that I like, and Darcy Coates is always on that list. And I decided for the book club pick, because it was the time to pick this one, was Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. This is a newer book that she recently released, and I've already started it, and by started I mean it got to page 12, but that's okay, I'm taking my time. So I'm gonna read the back for y'all. When Krista joins a tour group heading deep into the Rocky Mountains, she's hopeful that this will be her chance to put the ghosts of her past to rest. But when a bitterly cold snowstorm sweeps the region and a small group is forced to take shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin, despite the uncomfortable claustrophobic quarters and rapidly dropping temperature, Krista believes they'll be safe as they wait out the storm. She could not be more wrong. Deep in the night, their tour guide goes missing, only to be discovered the following morning, his severed head impaled on a tree outside the cabin. Terrified and completely isolated by the storm, Krista finds herself trapped with 8 total strangers. One of them kills for sport, and they're far from finished. As the storm grows more dangerous and the number of survivors dwindles one by one, Krista must decide whom she can trust before this frozen mountain becomes her tomb. I am really excited to read this. There's another book that I don't believe that I will get to this month, but I have high hopes, and it's one I've had for a while, and it's From Below by Darcy Coates. The reason why I didn't pick this one for the book club with my family is because we have a rule of 350 pages or less, unless, we ask and get everybody's permission, like, hey, can we read a bigger book? But I figured, you know what, this is a book I haven't read yet, and I'd like to give it a try. It's shorter, even though it's not the haunting style that I'm used to from Darcy Coates. I think that everybody will enjoy and be thoroughly scared. But From Below has been one that I have had, I think since last year. Yeah, I think I had this last year, and I wanted to read it and I didn't get to it. So at the end of the day, I want to read this year. I don't know if I will get to it this month, but I'm hoping, you never know, maybe I'll finish this pretty quickly and decide to dabble into it before the month is over. We shall see. Have to break out the trusty Kindle. So I have 2 other books that I'd like to read that are ebooks that I have started technically, but I had not finished. Well, that's okay. And quite a few of these are from Neck Alley, so let's ignore that part. So I want to read There's No Way I'd Die First. I'll definitely put a little image up there for y'all. I did start that, but I did not make it very far. I also started Out There Screaming. That is by Jordan Peele, and that is a essay collection by a bunch of authors. I read the first one and thought it was pretty freaky, so I'm excited to continue on with that one. And although I have quite a few more, I think that I actually want to focus on reading You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I think it will be fun to read those 3, particularly You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight and There's No Way I'd Die First, because I think both of those are YA horror. Like I said, I've got a few other things on here that I could pick up that are scary, but I want to focus on those more. If you've read them, let me know what your thoughts are. Out There Screaming just recently came out, and the other 2 had been out for a few months. So if you've read the other 2, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm just now starting to see some people have opinions of Out There Screaming. I'm excited. Like I said, I read the first essay. I think that one was by N.K. Jemisin, and it was pretty freaky. So I can't wait to continue on with those short stories and everything else on the Kindle. Now we're going to get into trusty Hoopla app, where I borrowed a ton of audiobooks. So one that I already started listening to and I made about 30% of the way is Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine. So far, that one's really good. I kind of powered through a lot of it last night before I decided to go to sleep. It is very eerie. It's about a woman named Anne. She is probably in her late 30s, you know, going into her 40s. She's had a resurgence of her acting career, a lot more than she thought it was going to be. Like, she's red carpet famous right now, okay? But she didn't expect that. And if she had, she probably wouldn't have decided that she wanted to try another round of IVF. So she and her husband are trying to have a baby, and it hasn't gone well before, and it's not totally going well now. It hasn't been the best experience. I'm personally really not liking her husband. He is, I have a bad feeling about him. Let me just keep it like that. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm hearing. But basically, Anne, she's going through this process, but it definitely seems like something or someone is trying to sabotage her. She's never been someone who's super forgetful or late, and some things keep happening that are just not explainable, and it's not something that she is doing, but she feels like someone is doing to her, and she feels as though she's being watched. An event just happened right before I finished last night that was pretty eerie. Overall, though, the whole story is pretty scary to me, mainly because I am someone who does not want children. I am child-free, so the feeling and anxiousness and fear and all of this for having a child, it's already scary to me. I can't relate, and it's scary how bad Anne is right now in terms of like how much anxiety she has. So that's a scary subject to me in the first place. That's horrifying. Anyway, now the vast majority of these were recommended on Horror Talk, so I'm really excited, but I'm pretty sure this one was described, like, read this if you liked Rosemary's Baby. I never watched that. I vaguely know what it's about, so interesting. Can't wait to see where this goes. I hope there's a little bit more horrifying stuff going on, because so far it's eerie, but it's nothing that's been like too scary. Next up, I also want to read Don't Let Her Stay by Nicola Sanders. That was one that I heard about a few months ago on TikTok, and a lot of people said that it was really good. So Joanne knows how lucky she is. Richard is a wonderful husband. Evie is the most gorgeous baby girl. They live in a beautiful house. Life couldn't be better. But then Richard's 20-year-old daughter, Chloe, turns up. Chloe hasn't spoken to her father since the day he married Joanne 2 years ago. But with the arrival of her baby sister, Evie, Chloe wants to make peace. Richard is delighted, and since Joanne is struggling with the new baby, he suggests Chloe could move in and help. It sounds like the perfect solution, even if it doesn't seem like Chloe likes Joanne very much. But Joanne understands it's not easy for her, and she's prepared to give her time. But then things happen that make Joanne feel like she's losing her mind. Sounds like the last book. She misplaces things, misses important appointments, gets dates wrong. Could Joanne be going mad just like her own mother, or is something more sinister happening? Is Chloe really here to help, or has Joanne made a terrible mistake by letting her move in? And is it too late to ask her to leave? Sounds good to me. I also wanted to read It Came from the Closet by Jill Valise. So this one is through the lens of horror from Halloween to Hereditary. Queer and trans writers consider the films that deepened, amplified, and illuminated their own experience. So it's a nonfiction of, I think, short essays, which I'm excited for. I have wanted to read this for a while, and now that it's on Hoopla as an audiobook, I definitely want to get into that one. Devil House by John Darnielle. I technically own the physical copy of that, but I just didn't think I would really be interested in physically reading it. So this one is about a man named Gage. He is a true crime writer who's had a little bit of success, and he decides to take on the task of moving into this notoriously haunted house to write his new book. That's all I know about that. I haven't heard bad or good things about it. I haven't really heard anything about it since I got it. Definitely was a hype buy, but I feel confident that I will like it. So I'm excited. If you've read that, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. The next two are ones that I hear about all the time, especially this one. This is always on a list of recommended horror books from people that I follow that are on Horror Talk, and that is Stolen Tongue by Felix Blackwell. A romantic cabin getaway doesn't go exactly as planned. High up on the windswept cliffs of Pale Peak, Faye and Felix celebrate their new engagement, but soon a chorus of Ghastly noises erupts from the nearby woods, the screams of animals, cries of children, and the mad babble of 100 mournful voices. A dark figure looms near the windows in the dead of night, whispering to Faye. As the weather turns deadly, Felix discovers that his terrified fiancée isn't just mumbling in her sleep, she's whispering back. That one sounds like it's going to be really good, especially as an audiobook. So I can't wait. And lastly, The Haunted Forest Tour. So this one, I've seen this recommended, but it wasn't until recently I was like, oh, let me actually see if that's on Hoopla. I'm excited for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Haunted Forest Tour. Sit back and enjoy a smooth ride in air-conditioned comfort as your heavily armored tram takes you through nature's most astonishing creation. The forest is packed to capacity with dangerous and terrifying creatures of all shapes, sizes, and hunger levels, and you'll get to observe these wonders in complete safety. Howl with a werewolf, gaze into the glowing eyes of a giant spider, look right through a spooky ghost, see horrific monsters you couldn't even imagine, only inches away from you. Things with fangs, things with claws, things with dripping red jaws, you'll see them all! Not thrilling enough? Well, it's Halloween, so we're offering a very special tour through the haunted forest. The new route goes deeper into the woods than any civilians have ever ventured before, and you're guaranteed to get a good scare. Rest assured that every possible security precaution has been taken. The haunted forest tour is a 100% safety record, and technical difficulties are unheard of. You will be in no danger whatsoever. We promise. That sounds really good. Now, all of those I borrowed right at like September 30th, the right before it was September 1st. So I have another 8 titles that I could borrow for the month of October if I finish with all of these. I really do want to listen to these audiobooks, so I need to make sure that I get off my fucking phone. I'm looking at TikTok and listen to the audiobook instead. So wish me luck. I hope that I can get into doing like a reading vlog. I know I did that for some extreme horror not too long ago. I don't know if I'm going to be reading so much extreme horror. There are some other books that I have that I got from a while ago that are shorter. So we'll see. I might switch it up and I might read those instead on a vlog just so I can keep it going. But now we're going to get into some scary manga because you know I can't not read manga. Hello. Okay, so this first one is something I've had on my shelves for a while, I just have not picked up, and that is The Flowers of Evil, the first omnibus by Shuzo Oshimi. I've read one other thing by Shuzo Oshimi, but this is my first time reading this. Now, I don't know that this is going to be completely horror, but it's definitely going to deal with harder and darker topics, so I figured, you know what, let me finally pick it up for Halloween. You've got some pretty intense panels in here, clearly about like young kids dealing with bullying, isolation, sadness. So it'll be an interesting read. But if you've read this, let me know. I'm finally going to read Happy Sugar Life. This I've had for a while, and I also have the anime queued on, I think, Amazon Prime. But this is lies, crime, theft, murder, anything goes to be with her. This must be what love is. That is what she thought. In order to protect the feeling, she would do anything. So I have the first 3 volumes of this series, and I'm definitely going to be giving it a try. We'll see. We're going to test with the first volume. I also got The Witch and the Beast, Volume 1. I've had this one for a while as well. So this is A Witch's Curse, a feral girl with long fangs and the eyes of a beast, Godot, a Shaf, a soft-spoken man with delicate features and a coffin strapped to his back. This ominous pair appears one day in town that's enthralled to a witch who has convinced her townsfolk she's their hero. But Godot and Ashaf know better. They have scores to settle, and they won't hesitate to remove anyone in their way. A dark, stylish fairy tale for the fans of XXXholic and Noragami. So I don't know that this will be like completely like spooky scary, but that's what it's giving. It's giving spooky. So another one by Shuzo Oshimi is Happiness. I have the first volume, and I did recently see that some of the other volumes are free on Hoopla. So I'll probably, if I like the first volume, go and see what I think about the second one. Obviously, we're kind of talking about vampires here, right? So The Thirst. Nothing interesting is happening in Mokoto Okazaki's first year of high school. His life is a series of quiet humiliations, low-grade bullies, unreliable friends, and the constant frustration of his adolescent lust. But one night, a pale, thin girl knocks him to the ground in an alley and offers him a choice. Now everything is different. Daylight is searingly bright. Food tastes awful, and worse than anything is the terrible consuming thirst. The tiny shames of his old life have been replaced by two towering horrors, the truth of what will slake his awful craving, and high school itself. So, another one I've had for a while, but can't wait to read. And finally, I need to get into PTSD Radio. Another one I've had for a while, and I've since gotten the first 3 volumes. This one is definitely pretty eerie. When I picked this one up, it was for many different reasons, but definitely the cover is freaky as hell. An unseen hand tugs at your braid. You find an old sealed box with a tangled mess of dark hair inside. In the hallway outside your room, a river of curls is slinking away, an ominous lump at its heart. It won't be long before you feel Oguchi-sama's fingers slithering across your scalp. Before it's too late, tune into PTSD Radio. So I am really excited to read this. Definitely some pretty spooky, scary panels. I wonder if this is going to give me nightmares. A lot of stuff. It's really not that hard to give me nightmares, to be honest with you. But it's definitely scary. I've also thought about finally picking up the first volume of Parasite. This, honestly, looking through this makes me think about Parasite a little bit. So we're going to also see how I'm feeling on the manga as well. I want to commit to reading what I've pulled, but I do have some other things on my shelves that could fit the bill for being kind of scary for Halloween or could give a Halloween vibe. And my TBR just never ends because I keep buying stuff. But yes, that is what I plan to read in October. Like I said, not pulling any cards this month. I'm just going to kind of wing it with all the stuff I have. There's some other things I want to continue to read, like Jujutsu Kaisen. That still kind of fits the bill in a way, right? Because it's dark shonen, so I will definitely be continuing reading Jujutsu Kaisen. Same thing with Hell's Paradise, but Hell's Paradise is one I just kind of keep to the side. I haven't picked up religiously like I wanted to. Did I make it through Bleach? No, I did not. I did not make it through that box set. Did I make it through the One Piece box set? Almost. So I kind of got kind of far. But yes, that is what I will be reading. And thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like the video. If you like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on other social media. It's down in the description box below. And you have a good day. Goodbye.